Thanks for watching On Call for All Kids. Today we're talking about teen driver safety. We'll be discussing the biggest safety hazards for teen drivers, why parents have such an influence on their teen safety behind the wheel, and how to help teens be as safe as they can when they hit the road. I am joined by two very special guests today. Petra Stanton, she is the supervisor of Safe Kids here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. And we also have Shayna Finkel here. She is both the president for Florida and National Students Against Destructive Decisions, and she lives locally in Pasco County. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashley, again. Great topic today.
So this is National Teen Driver Safety Week, a really fantastic time for parents and teens to kind of come together and have these healthy conversations about driving and how to stay safe while you're driving. So let's start off with you, Petra. How common are crashes with teenagers?
So, teenagers are very vulnerable when it comes to car crashes. So, about a third of all crashes or crash related deaths happen to teenagers, and that's way too many lives lost way too soon. So, for example, in 2019, we had over 2,000 crash related deaths, and over 600 of them were teens. So, very sad statistics. Have those conversations, very important to talk about.
What are some of the most common distractions for teenagers when they get behind the wheel and they're driving?
So, as we know, it is popular to talk about electronic devices, but there are studies that show that other passengers in the car can be major distractions as well. So, as the teens are, for example, leaving their school, having their friends in the vehicles can be a distraction, can lead into decisions that can have life-threatening consequences, etc. And of course, keep those electronic devices off the road, turned off, etc. They are still a threat as well as the other passengers.
What should teens be doing each time that they are about to get into the car and drive somewhere?
So, of course, we want everybody to be buckled up. There's another statistic that I have. Over 50% of those teens that die in car crashes are not buckled up. This is 2021 we are talking about. We want everybody to be buckled up. And even though the rates are going up for people buckling up, there are still a lot of people who are not. And in this case, we have observed in observational surveys when we are doing them at high schools, parents can play a major role as a role model. So we see if a parent is not buckled up, typically the teen has a tendency not to be buckled up as well. So this is where the parents can come in handy and work with the teen and be a good example and a role model.
Yeah, really show them, lead the way on that. And lastly, Petra, what other factors play a role in car crashes?
So of course it can be all of the above. One of the very common instances that we see is speeding. So the child or the teen is behind the wheel. Statistically, males are more likely to be involved in car crashes. That does not exclude female passengers, but males tend to engage in risky behaviors. So they test out the cars, they speed, and a lot of times there are alcohol situations or substances involved when it comes to teen crashes. We have done looked at some statistics, and some of the crashes had multiple risk factors involved in them. So be on the lookout and have conversations about all of those things.
Well, let's switch over to Shayna now, and it's great to have you here because you're bringing the teen perspective into this. Let's start off with how can talk to each other when they maybe feel a little uncomfortable?
Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for having me here today to talk about this exceptionally important topic. So, it's just very important for teens to feel that they can be open with their parents and comfortable with their peers. Teens often fear that if they actually tell their parents about what is truly going on, that they may get into trouble or be told that they can't do the thing that they really, really wanted to do. So, saying this, there must be adjustments on both sides of the table in order for productive and truthful conversations to happen.
What can parents do? What advice do you have for them?
I definitely think that it needs to start on the parent side. It is so crucial for parents to create that safe space early on with their kid and sharing personal stories from when they were their child's age or engaging in just personal conversations about their days as a regular thing. That is the first step to having a solid base to grow from. And if a teen is already used to having those conversations, then those uncomfortable ones will likely not seem as difficult. And it's just very important for parents to establish with their child that the reason why they're having these conversations is because that they care about them and they want to see them alive and well. And this will help to eliminate the teen's fear that these conversations are always going to lead to punishments.
And what do you say to your peers as a teen yourself? What can they be doing?
They just need to be sure that they're being respectful of the relationship of trust that has been built. They generally have a good idea of what is considered right and wrong in their household, and they should follow what they know is right. When they have a question about if something is proper or find themselves on the aftermath of a wrong choice, this is when parents just must be receptive and calm and remember to care now and teach later, because answering your child with anger and yelling will only make them no longer communicate with you. So just appreciate their honesty and overall appreciate that they trusted enough to calling you in the first place, because just imagine what could have happened if they didn't have that trust to call at all.
Well, Shayna, thanks so much for joining us and bringing your unique perspective to the table, and also all you're doing to keep teens, your peers, safe.
Thank you again for having me.
And Petra, thank you so much. Great seeing you as always.
Thanks, Ashley.
And thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, you can also visit our website. It's hopkinsallchildrens.org/newsroom. There you'll find a lot of great topics in pediatric healthcare and other wonderful resources for your family. We'll see you next week.